Hello, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tamara Crooks, and I'm the Leadership Coordinator for Student Involvement. It is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of Student Involvement and the Center for Civic Engagement. We work closely with students here at Washington State University in a variety of capacities, and we are so happy to welcome you to this year's 2015 Leadership of Engagement Awards of Distinction, the premier co-curricular awards program honoring students of excellence at Washington State University. Since 1996, the students and staff of the Cougar Leadership Program have had the privilege of serving the university and our president in coordinating this annual program that features the President's Awards for Leadership and Service. As a testimony to our belief that civic engagement and service to our fellow students and service to our local and global communities is leadership, the President's Award came simply to be known as the President's Award for Leadership. In addition to the President's Award for Leadership, this event, Leadership and Engagement Awards of Distinction, or LEAD, includes a gallery of leadership located on the north side of the ballroom, highlighting student leadership efforts throughout campus and the community. Before we get to some of the many formal elements of our program, we would like to invite up an individual whose leadership has helped many of us unite in our understanding of and the demand of leadership and excellence. And while he holds a prominent leadership position consistent with the values of Washington State University, he is not a leader because of his position, but because of the values he holds and his actions. I'd like to welcome to the stage ASWSU President Jared Powell.
Thank you very much, Tamara, for the introduction. For anyone who didn't know, Tamara's favorite animal is a giraffe, thank you. It actually is very exciting because it's my favorite animal as well, and we learned that today, which is why I wanted to bring it up. Like Tamara said, my name is Jared Powell, and I am the current ASWSU president for about another 2 weeks. And I would like to take a few minutes just to recognize some of the accomplishments of the great leaders sitting in this room here today. This year has been a monumental year for ASWSU. In 1914, a student government was established here at Washington State University. This last fall, we celebrated the 100th year of student voice and involvement at this institution. This doesn't just indicate 100 years of ASWSU as an organization, but it signifies a century of student involvement, participation, and advocacy at this great institution. 100 years of the same great leaders that we celebrate here today. We commemorated this 100 years last fall with our centennial celebration, which brought together alumni and current students and actually single-handedly raised over $54,685 for student initiatives and programs here at WSU. This year, through a collaborative effort between students and administration, ASWSU led an effort to renovate a currently vacant building on campus into a space that will benefit students for decades to come as a student activity center. Through months of planning, the renovation of the old bookie building was put up to a student vote in March and passed by 74.1%. This building will be completed in 2017. As a public institution, we saw the need for our students to be able to freely express themselves on our campus. Through work with our state legislature, ASWSU has succeeded in securing changes in our institution's free speech codes, which affect all students and will allow a more open campus for our students to advocate for what they believe in. Technology is a constant concern for students of WSU. ASWSU has worked this year with university administration to start directing technological improvements which will impact all students and become a better learning environment, including a university cloud storage system and Microsoft Office software to be available for all students starting next year. Off-campus student housing and landlord-tenant issues continue to present problems for our students. Just today, we finalized the details of the ASWSU Cougar Choice Housing Program, which will work to protect student rights and safety in their off-campus housing arrangements. This incentive program for landlords and realty companies will begin this summer and will become an institution in the student's search for off-campus housing opportunities. Through the leadership of former ASWSU Vice President Lakeisha Farmer, ASWSU started the It's on Cougs campaign this year in collaboration with the White House It's on Us campaign. This program works to combat sexual violence here at WSU and educate students about the university resources here to help them through their collegiate experience. I was actually lucky enough this last March to travel down to Washington, D.C. with our current ASWSU Vice President, Jansen Vandermeulen, and spoke directly with the White House staff about some of the great efforts here on our campus regarding this program. These are just a few of the notable initiatives ASWSU has accomplished this year. These are not my accomplishments, but rather a collective effort of all of our student leaders. All of these programs make a huge difference here at WSU for decades to come to further enhance the student experience here at Washington State University. And they would not have been successful had it not been for some of the great leaders here in this room today. We have a lot of great students here receiving awards, and we actually have the first ever student recipient from the WSU North Puget Sound to Everett campus, which I think is pretty cool. I would like to invite all of the 2014-2015 ASWSU senators and executive staff to stand and be recognized. It is important that we recognize this wide array of student leaders because I know that we could not have been successful this year without their efforts. And I would now like to bring up two individuals who will be filling mine and Jansen's shoes next year and will surely build a team around them to help them be successful as well. I would like to bring up Mr. Kyle Geiger and Mr. Adam Crouch.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh Munson and I'm the current Chief Justice of the ASWSU Judicial Board. It is my pleasure to do this for the third and final time of getting to give the inaugural ceremony for President-elect Adam Crouch and Vice President-elect Kyle Geiger. So, will you please raise your right hands and repeat each phrase after me to take the oath of office as the 2015-2016 Associated Students of Washington State University Executive Officers. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of my office and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Associated Students of Washington State University. Congratulations, President Crouch and Vice President Geiger.
So Adam and I, as a lot of the leaders over here already know, have had a lot of opportunities to talk over the last few months. Some would say way too many. And we just want to take this time to thank some people in our lives and some organizations.
I would ask that Mr. and Mrs. Geiger, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Crouch, please stand up and be recognized. We really appreciate it, as us too. Thank you. You four really don't know, how much you mean to us. We would not be the young, strong men and student leaders that we like to think that we are without the help and support throughout, all the years of, growing up without you also, and really creating that strong backbone and helping us through, tough times, and then also being here to celebrate great times. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. We love you. Specifically, I would also like to thank my girlfriend. She's been my rock for the last, will be sort of 2 years here soon. 4 years collectively. There was a rough patch. We're through it. No, she's been there for me and she's been outstanding. I would also not be the man I am today without her. Other than that, thank you. We'd like to thank both our fraternity chapters, Phi Gamma Delta and Phi Kappa Tau. Other than that, we want to thank the Interfraternity Council, the Panhellenic Council, the CFSL for everything they've done for us and building us into who we are today as well. The College Hill Association, I had a great time working with them this last year, and they're here tonight. I appreciate them. And the Center for Civic Engagement, as well as student involvement.
And just to wrap it up, we'd like to thank all of these students that are currently here tonight. You all are the reason why we do what we do and why we ran and why we're so excited to be here for another year to help move this university and within our own organization to help all students for the next year to come. So thank you all very much. Enjoy the night.
Congratulations again to our the recently elected Kyle and Adam. We wish you the best of luck in the upcoming year. It is now my pleasure to introduce to the stage the president for GPSA for next year, Melanie Thornton.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Melanie Thornton, and I am the president-elect for the Graduate and Professional Student Association, and I'm a third-year PhD candidate in environmental and natural resource science.
And I'm Eva Danka, the vice president-elect, and a second-year veterinary student at the College of Veterinary Medicine.
GPSA has set precedents for graduate and professional students called scholarship, civic engagement, and leadership. The organization is comprised of high-quality students who make it their mission to change the state of the university and our community, making it a more diverse, accepting, and tolerant place to live in. GPSA members pride themselves on community and collaboration, working with those who make our community a better place. Partners like the Center for Civic Engagement, Student Involvement, ASWSU, and the Pullman City Council work together to build on student engagement and success. I can say that we in GPSA are so thrilled to continue working with our partners to foster positivity in the graduate and professional student community. As GPSA president-elect, I do not take this task lightly, and I am honored and humbled by my constituents' confidence in me as a leader. And I promise I will do everything in my power to be an advocate to all graduate and professional students. That being said, I recognize the dedication and devotion that the majority of our graduate and professional students possess for excellence in leadership.
We are here today to recognize the graduate and professional student excellence that we know these students are going to go on to change the world, and we want to support them along the way. So congratulations to all of the President's Leadership Award winners. We're so proud of you.
Good evening. My name is Brian Sheffield, and I serve as the Executive Director for Student Involvement. On behalf of the Center for Civic Engagement and Student Involvement, I want to thank everyone for joining in this celebration of leadership and service at Washington State University. Without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce our speaker for tonight's event. Elson S. Floyd, the 10th president of Washington State University, is a dynamic and visionary leader with high aspirations for this university's future. Since taking the helm in May 2007, he has set in motion a series of initiatives to strengthen WSU's research and economic impact, to enhance the education and campus experience for all WSU students. And to improve facilities and technology infrastructure that support WSU's mission. Just in this past year, he has led the university to successful completion of the $1 billion campaign for Washington State University, won legislative approval to develop an independent, accredited medical school that will help improve access to primary health care in the state, and overseen record enrollment and recruitment of the most diverse student body in WSU's 125-year history. President Floyd believes deeply that Washington State University, as one of the nation's premier land-grant research universities, plays a vital role in the social and economic vitality of the state and wider world. He is leading WSU to the next level of excellence and service. Please help me welcome President Elson S. Floyd.
Well, Brian, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank each and every one of you for being a part of this exciting evening. I want to just share with you just a brief story. Last August, I had the great pleasure of witnessing the birth of my first grandchild. And it was a really, really fun event, but it happened with a lot of surprises along the way. And sometimes in life, there are surprises. So I had gone to North Carolina a little bit earlier than I had anticipated, just as a surprise visit for my daughter Jessica and her husband Sean. And so when I got there, she said, "Dad, how long are you going to stay?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to stay just a couple of days." I had a meeting in Washington, D.C., and so I decided to come down and visit the two of you. But when the baby comes, I'll be right back. And so call me, and I'll be on the first plane from Pullman, headed to Raleigh-Durham. And she said, "That's fine. That's really great." And I said, "Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave." This was on a Friday evening. And I said, "Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave on Sunday morning." And she said, "You can't stay any longer than that?" I said, "No." I said, "I really have a lot of things I've got to get back to the state of Washington to take care of." And she said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." Well, lo and behold, the airplane company called and said that the flight that I was scheduled to leave on was running late, and I would not be able to catch my flight on Sunday. And they said, "Well, you have one option, that is to put you on the last flight leaving Raleigh-Durham on Sunday evening, or we'll put you on the first flight Monday morning." And I said, "Well, why don't you go ahead and try to put me on the first flight leaving on Monday, because if something happens and I miss the last flight, then I'm stranded someplace, and that's no fun." So I ended up getting the first flight out on Monday morning. And before my plane left, I got a call from my daughter, and she said, "Dad, I don't feel well." And I said, "What's wrong?" "Well, I'm pregnant, so why are you asking me what's wrong?" I said, "Well, I just want to know if anything in particular is happening beyond your pregnancy." And she said, "I just don't feel well." She said, "Can you come over?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm going to probably be a little bit late to catch my flight, but don't worry, I'll come over." So I went over there, and then we spent a little time together, and I said, "I really need to leave." And she said, "Dad, I really don't feel well." So we called her OB-GYN, and he said to my daughter Jessica, "You need to come into the office, but I don't think the baby's coming right now." Well, to just go ahead and get to the end of the story, she had dilated about 7 centimeters at the time, and so it was clear that the baby was coming. And I called her husband, Sean, to make Sean aware that the baby was forthcoming. And he's a practicing attorney, and he said, and he calls me Doc. And he said, "Doc, I can't come right now, but I'm trying a case. But don't worry, Jessica's done this a couple of times, and the baby's not going to come anytime soon." I said, "Well, okay, if you think so." Anyway, so we get to the doctor's office, and he said, "You need to go to the hospital right now because his baby's coming." So I called Sean. I said, "Sean," he says, "right now, Doc, don't worry, the baby's not coming right now." So we got there, and she had dilated another 5 centimeters. So it's clear to me and everyone else that the baby was coming. About 18 minutes later, in my daughter's arms was Victoria. And the nurse, in the middle of labor, said to my daughter Jessica, "Are you and your dad real close?" And she says, "What do you mean, are my dad and I real close?" "Yes." The nurse said, "Well, I hope you are, because he's going to see it all right now." And I made sure that I stayed focused, right at the eyeballs, right at the eyeballs. But it's a lot of fun, and Victoria right now is crawling, so it's amazing what a difference months will make in that regard. Anyway, two very delightful people, but I share that story with you in the context of this evening. This evening gathering is really all about leadership. Whether you know each other or not, or whether you were elected to your position or simply stepped up to fill a void, to fill a need, you are true leaders here at Washington State University, and this is one of the best gatherings that I have the privilege of speaking in front of. For each and every day, you make a difference in the life of our university, for our students, for our communities, and clearly for our state. And it is worth noting that the work that you are engaged in from a leadership perspective is an addition to everything else. So I would ask this audience to join me in recognizing you early on for your leadership, your direction, your vision, and what you do on behalf of Washington State University. Well, this evening, I want to talk just a little bit about leadership and what it means. And the first thing that it means, at least from my perspective, and these are my thoughts and my views, and you will have others that you will add to it, or you may even take from them. But it is clear to me that being able to give back to the communities in which we're part of is a fundamental aspect of what must and should occur. So think about giving back and the contributions that come as a consequence of that. You know, I can't tell you how many fundraisers we've had in this room. And giving back is an expensive proposition on occasion. And my wife keeps saying, "You've given back," and I keep saying, "But they want me to write another check." And I have an obligation and a responsibility of making sure that I do that, because I believe very strongly in leadership by example. That is, practicing what we preach. And that is your responsibility and obligation as well. And in the meantime, we want to make sure that you are trustworthy in all of your activities, that you treat individuals with fairness and with integrity and with decency and with respect, that you understand the importance of open and honest communications, that you are honest with each other, and that you are also honest with your fellow students. That you figure out ways of empowering them, of driving change, influencing partnerships and collaborative work and efforts. Trying to make sure that you focus constantly on improving not only the quality of your life, but the quality of the lives around you. You see, a great number of young people today will depend on you for your vision and for your leadership and for your direction. And I count myself amongst those individuals who really rely on you in a constant way. I also ask that you identify what I refer to as stretch goals. That is, those goals that will enable you to exceed even your own expectations. And if you would think of life and leadership as a rubber band, and when you pull that rubber band, it will go as far as the tension will allow it to go before it breaks. And you want to make sure and guarantee in an unqualified way that that rubber band never breaks. And from a leadership perspective, just envision yourself as being at A position. And those that are following are at B. And you always keep just a little tension while B catches up. And then you move a little bit further as group A while B moves a little bit further ahead. You see, it's always about making sure that you don't lose those individuals who are relying on you. The work that I'm describing here is but one example of what we rely on you each and every day. You see, most people tend to focus inwardly, and I'm asking that you become at peace with who you are and extend your best attributes outwardly at the same time. That you continue to be informed, that you continue to be curious enough to ask questions about the world in which we live and the world in which you influence. That you understand that you are a part of something much larger, and that you have an obligation, a responsibility of making sure that you are contributing to the success of the whole. And that you genuinely care about improving the way that things are, and will do everything within your power to continue to move forward the pace of change in that regard. You know, strong leaders are people of action. When I look around this room, I see a community of doers. You are not the ones content on merely reading about an issue online or watching it on a television set. You are the ones who take the next step forward. You're the ones who will take the initiative to get involved, even if it means less time with your friends, and even if it means less sleep. You will find a way to help. And that is yet one other attribute of strong leaders, for they are natural helpers. They make a difference. They are willing to step out of their comfort zone and to step up to fill a need. I hope each of you this evening understand the value and the impact that leaders like you in this world have on influencing the activities of others. I also hope that you understand the value and the impact that leadership brings in so many different aspects of your lives and the lives of others. You see, you will serve as mentors, role models, leaders who understand that it is incumbent upon you to make sure that the next generation will have opportunities that perhaps you didn't have. And that's what the whole learning experience is all about. It's about making a difference. It's about creating and inculcating a culture that is embracing, a culture that really does give back and contribute in meaningful ways. You know, there are a lot of issues that we struggle with day in and day out, and I am convinced that with the work that all of you are engaged in, we will come up with the appropriate solutions. How to work to be a part of a team, how to lead a team, how to ask the right questions at the right time, how to manage your time and the resources that are around you. So this evening is about a celebration. It's about a celebration of the journey in which you've entrusted and embarked upon. It's about this journey that you've had with Washington State University, and a journey that is nearing its completion for some of you and just beginning for others. And so I ask that you continue to embrace enthusiastically those peers around you and do all that you possibly can to nurture and protect and preserve what they do in that regard. Yeah, we have an obligation to give back, and I have an obligation to make sure that I do everything possible for Victoria. Go Cougs!
Thank you again, President Floyd, for joining us tonight and your thoughts on leadership and giving back. Now on to the awards. As you heard earlier this evening, we will be recognizing a variety of outstanding individuals and organizations within the WSU community with the President's Award for Leadership. Before we recognize this year's awardees, we know that we have some of the distinguished past winners with us as well. If you could please stand up if you've won the President's Award in the past, we will acknowledge you now. Thank you. President Floyd, if you could join us up at the front of the stage for the photos. Before announcing the individual student award winners, we will present our community partners, faculty and staff and student groups. Although we are asking for representatives of groups and organizations to accept the award, we'll have one person come forward, and then at the end of the night, we'll have the whole group take pictures later. So please stick around for the photos at the end. If you could please join me in welcoming Tiffany Braun, the Assistant Director of the Center for Civic Engagement, to present the Community Organization Awards.
Thank you, Tamara. As a land-grant institution, Washington State University has a long-standing commitment to the communities in this state. And each year, hundreds of community organizations work with WSU students, faculty, and staff to improve the world around us. Many of our student awardees this evening have achieved their success in part because of the opportunities for learning provided by our community partners. And so let us begin by honoring 3 community organizations that support Washington State University through their outstanding contributions to the WSU student experience. The first community partner we will be recognizing is College Hill Association. This organization has been the leader for improving the quality of life for residents on College Hill since its incorporation in 1992. According to their vision statement, the College Hill Association envisions a vibrant, diverse, and improving community that welcomes all residents and values the historic character of the neighborhood. In this academic year alone, College Hill Association has provided community engagement opportunities for over 1,600 students who have collectively contributed over 4,400 hours of community service. The next community organization we would like to recognize is White Spring Ranch. White Spring Ranch is a National Historic Site out in Genesee, Idaho, that primarily focuses on sharing history of the local area and the property with the entire community. The site is open to the public and is committed to providing education and community engagement opportunities for all ages. Within this organization, individuals are encouraged to engage in thoughtful conversations revolving around incredibly important historical events and artifacts. The final community organization we would like to acknowledge is Alternatives to Violence of the Palouse. This organization provides 24-hour support to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. ATVP's main goal is to provide an individual with options and a safe, supportive environment. Between July 2011 and June 2013, ATVP received over 7,500 calls on their crisis hotline. This totaled almost 6,500 in-person counseling sessions, over 3,000 bed nights at their confidential shelter, and almost 800 educational presentations and outreaches, reaching over 30,000 community members. Please join me in thanking again these fantastic organizations for all the work they do and the opportunities that they provide our WSU students and community.
Thank you, Tiffany. And once again, congratulations to our outstanding community organizations. Next, I would like to introduce Kristen Koenig. She works at the Center for Civic Engagement as one of their academic coordinators to present our faculty and staff winners.
Thank you, Tamara. As with the community partners, our faculty and staff honorees this evening represent distinct ways in which mentors and leaders within the university community challenge students to grow, become more culturally competent, and find their leadership capabilities. Our first winner is Steve Austin. Steve is an instructor in the School of Design and Construction. He engages his students in service learning projects with local community members and agencies each semester. In a nomination letter, one wrote that students are pressed to think outside of the box and to acknowledge the consequences and potential benefits of their work as they relate to larger social and environmental issues. Congratulations, Steve. The next award recipient is Dr. Francine Watson. Francine is a professor in the College of Education and works with pre-service teachers in elementary and secondary education. Francine is also the director of the WSU Clearinghouse on Native Teaching and Learning. Her nominator wrote that she is training the next generation of teachers with a culturally responsive, place-based, and environmentally oriented emphasis. She is a humble person who always works for the greater good of society. Congratulations, Francine. Next, if you could please help me in recognizing Dr. Carolyn Long. Carolyn teaches in public affairs, mentors students, and is active within the community. She is the lead program convener for the Initiative for Public Deliberation Collaborative in Clark County, Washington. In a nomination letter, one said that Carolyn may be most exemplary in her advocacy for respectful and meaningful discourse and engagement without carrying a special interest standard. Her activism makes a difference, and our community is better for it. Great work, Carolyn. Okay. All right. Carolyn could not be with us tonight, but we will make sure she gets her award. The next person we are acknowledging is Dr. Lippy Turner Rahman. Lippy serves as an advisor for the Association for Bangladeshi Students and Scholars and actively volunteers for events for this registered student organization. In a nomination letter, one said that as our community is a small one, whenever we are required to participate in an event, she herself has volunteered. She not only guided us to arrange big events, but also gave her hand to help us. Congratulations, Lippy. Please help me in welcoming our next faculty member, Dr. Raina Sage. Raina is a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Human Development. Over the past 2 semesters, 183 of Dr. Sage's Human Development 201 students have completed 2,570 hours of service in the community. One said in a nomination letter that Raina is extremely devoted to preparing students for ardent involvement in the community. As demonstrated, she is committed to social change in both her teaching and research. Great work, Raina. The final staff member we are acknowledging tonight is DJ Mackey. DJ is a member of the university recreation staff and worked his way up from an intramural official to supervisor to competitive sports graduate assistant and now to coordinator for competitive sports and youth programming. In a nomination letter, one said that DJ uses his role to empower others to make decisions, to try new ideas, and to grow within themselves. He will always be there for support, but most importantly, he will let you take the reins. Well done, DJ.
Thank you, Kristen. And congratulations again to all of our outstanding faculty and staff. Please help me to welcome to the stage next the Assistant Director of Student Involvement, Berto Cirillo, to present to our student organization winners.
Good evening, everybody. Washington State University students affect positive change. This is true. Group leadership can amplify the efforts of these individuals and create a significant collective positive impact. Student organizations recognized by the President's Award for Leadership exemplify the notion that we can accomplish more together than we can alone. Our first student group awardee is the Association for Bangladeshi Students and Scholars. The main goal of ABSS is to showcase Bangladeshi culture through events in collaboration with other organizations. This year, they collaborated with other organizations to host the annual International Mother Language Day. This event is held to commemorate the sacrifices made by all people around the world and promotes preservation and protection of all languages used by people in the world. They also hosted the first Bangladeshi night to showcase their culture and customs of and their backgrounds to all students. Great job. Our next group is the Biology Graduate Student Association. BGSA conveys the passion behind science to the community and the younger generation in order to help build understanding in the scientific community and encourage people to explore and understand the nature around them. Twice a year, BGSA hosts community outreach days where they bring science out of the lab and into a setting to engage members of the community, often targeting the younger generation, but making sure to engage and educate any that attend. The BGSA also participates in the annual Graduate Student Symposium to showcase the work done by students within the organization. Congratulations. Please help me in acknowledging the Black Graduate Student Association. That is another BGSA, if you're wondering. The mission of the Black Graduate Student Association is to be an organization that not only serves as a network for graduate and professional students, but also to be a proactive agent in the community. They have collaborated with many other organizations on campus to provide experiential education by bringing in speakers such as Nikki Giovanni and Angela Davis, who are African American activists. They also conduct graduate student panels to help students of color successfully transition into a university environment. They are highly involved with many events surrounding Martin Luther King Jr. Day and promote major cultural and diversity events on campus. Congratulations. I'd like to welcome Allison Thomas, who is the Cougar Cruise Club Member of the Year. Is Allison here this evening? She's not. Well, we'll read about her anyway, don't worry. Written in a nomination, Allison was arguably the biggest contributor to the Cougar Crew lightweight team and the main reason for their success. She stepped up and served as the Vice Commodore this year, which entailed taking charge of the team's fundraising efforts and travel plans. Her approachability makes her well suited for her role as the connection between the officer corps and the rest of the team. Allison is a graduating senior, also spent countless hours making a quilt for the live auction at the annual banquet, which is quite the undertaking. How about a round of applause for Allison Thomas? Next, we would like to recognize the Entomology Graduate Student Association. This association works closely with the entomology department and students of both the University of Idaho and Washington State University. EGSA collaborates with the USDA, the Palouse Clearwater Institute, and the BGSA, but the Biology Graduate Student Association for many outreach events. The Entomology Graduate Student Association also has hosted events on the WSU campus, such as the annual Insect Cinema Cult Classic and the Insect Expo. EGSA is about educating children and adults alike on the benefits insects bring to our environment. Thank you for the insight. Please help me in welcoming the Equestrian Club. The Equestrian Club, in just their second year, has placed 4 women in regionals, advancing 2 to zones and 1 to nationals. They have created a team environment out of an individualized sport by committing a huge amount of time and effort to the club and their horses. The Lead Awards has recognized the Equestrian Club as Sport Club of the Year. Round of applause. Next up, we would like to recognize the Marketing Club. The Marketing Club is open to all majors, and its mission is to enable members to gain practical experience as well as network with business professionals. They have worked with the TEDxWSU in the past through promoting the talks as well as maintaining TEDxWSU media sites. Marketing Club creates networking opportunities for their members by hosting a biannual club trip, traveling to Seattle and Spokane to visit companies and gain real-world experience. Congratulations. Please help me in welcoming the Muslim Student Association. MSA works to create and maintain a community that fosters the development and growth of the Muslim community here at WSU, as well as the surrounding Palouse area. Over the course of the last year, MSA has offered free tutoring on a variety of subjects, provided a safe and peaceful place for Muslim students to interact and engage in religious practices, and has hosted various events on campus to help better the community and increase the local community's knowledge on Islam and the Islamic culture. The MSA works with the Omani Student Association, the Middle Eastern Student Association, and the Saudi Student Association to help create events that showcase Islamic culture and practices such as Islamic Awareness Week. Congratulations. Please help me in welcoming the Neuroscience Club. The Neuroscience Club has partnered with the Molecular Biosciences Club to facilitate a blood drive. They have also partnered with the neuroscience faculty and others to give the students opportunities to learn more about neuroscience as a career. The Neuroscience Club runs a booth at the CVM Moms Weekend Open House to spread the information about neuroscience programs to WSU students, parents, and attending community members. This April, they plan on holding an adult, child, and infant CPR class. Congratulations. Next, we would like to recognize the Professional Pharmacy Student Organization. The PPSO collaborates with many local student and community organizations to provide free health services and education to the community while developing their student pharmacists, professional skills, and making an impact on healthcare. They have partnered with the Spokane Regional Health District to provide immunization clinics around Spokane community to underserved populations by using portable vaccination kits to vaccinate those who don't have access to health care. They have also participated in the annual fall and spring health fairs that provide immunizations, blood pressure, blood glucose, cholesterol, and bone density screenings, while also providing advice on well-being and healthy habits. Quite the undertaking, and congratulations. Our next student organization we'd like to recognize is the Stage Student Theater. I hear that in the way back. Stage Student Theater is a coalition of students from many different departments coming together to run a student theater company. Stage produces the Nut House Improv Comedy, which will be opening tomorrow night for Jimmy Tater, by the way, for Springfest. Plug. So, Stage produces Nut House Improv Comedy, which has regular shows on campus for students to attend. Stage also works closely with Washington State University Performing Arts to help staff their events and participate as cast members in their show. Congratulations. Our final group we'll be acknowledging this evening is the women's ice hockey team. This team has been nominated for volunteering at tournaments and events, cheering on other sports clubs, and representing WSU with phenomenal sportsmanship with their opponents, officials, and game staff, and amongst their own team. The women's ice hockey team competes in the Moscow Adult League and has repeatedly been recognized by other teams and the referees for promoting a positive game environment and exhibiting quality sportsmanship. The Lead Awards has given the women's ice hockey team the Sportsmanship Award. Congratulations. And congratulations to all of our winners this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Berto. This year, we will move on to our student winners. This year, we have an elite class of 43 graduate and undergraduate students that have been selected for their exemplary leadership and service to the university and its surrounding communities. Involvement that is congruent with the university's values of inquiry and innovation, character, teamwork, and diversity. To present our Graduate Student Award winners, please welcome Erin McIlrath. Also from the Center of Civic Engagement, she's the Marketing and Communications Coordinator. Erin.
Our first Graduate Student Awardee is Susan Rykoff. Susanna is pursuing her PhD in political science and political psychology here at WSU. One of Susanna's nominators says that, in short, Susanna is always thinking about how to do things better. She is always pushing others to make change, pursue a grant, or hold a gathering. The strength of her personality means others are willing to join her, and the job gets done. Since 2011, Susanna has served as the recruitment liaison for the School of Politics, Philosophy, and Public Affairs, and in the 2013-14 academic year, Susanna was appointed the president of the Graduate Student Association for the School of Politics, Philosophy, and Public Affairs. Next, we would like to acknowledge Julian Reyes. Julian is currently pursuing his PhD in civil engineering here at Washington State University. One of his references explains that his personal commitment to empowering students and developing resources to support their endeavors embodies how one should lead by example. For 2 years, Julian partnered with Dr. Shelley Presley to present the students in the Research Experience for Undergraduates program. Julian hopes that his own successes will help motivate other students to continue their own research and education. Our next awardee is Kristen Pratt. Kristen was unable to attend this evening's awards, but we are happy to acknowledge her. Kristen is a graduate student in the College of Education working on her PhD in Language and Literacy here at WSU. In a letter of support, it was said of Kristen that she truly practices what she preaches, or, as teachers say, she walks the talk. She focuses on students developing self-knowledge and awareness and leads them to a stance in which they re-envision their roles in the classroom as promoters of social justice and equity. Among her considerable accomplishments, Kristen is part of the humanitarian outreach program to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in which they work toward bringing social justice and change by establishing ongoing professional development for teachers outside of Kinshasa. This program helps teachers learn English and democratic instructional strategies they can use to teach their students. Next, we honor Elizabeth Mann. Elizabeth is a doctoral candidate in the College of Veterinary Medicine. In a letter of recommendation, Elizabeth is described as inspiring, compassionate, and inclusive, and that she spends what little free time she does have to be a leader for a group of students and community members, young and old, because she knows it's ultimately helping people. Elizabeth is the president of the College of Veterinary Medicine's Disaster Preparedness and Response Club and is the co-founder and leader of the WSU Guiding Paws Club, which is a student organization dedicated to socializing and training guide dog puppies. Please welcome our next recipient, Davi Coleman. Davi is currently pursuing her PhD in health communication in the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication. A letter of support explained that her active participation in various organizations as a leader have consistently demonstrated her outstanding intellect and capacity for achieving excellence. Davi is currently the president of the Murrow College Communication Graduate Student Organization and the District 7 representative in the WSU Graduate and Professional Student Association. Douglas Hostin Jr. is our next awardee. Douglas is pursuing his PhD in Cultural Studies and Social Thought in the College of Education. In a nomination, a peer said that Douglas is intensely dedicated to actualizing a vision in which the arts and education merge as a viable teaching tool that engages multiple communities. One of Douglas's many achievements includes being the president of the Cultural Arts and Education Ensemble this year. Our next recipient we would like to welcome is Telmo Grassa. Telmo is currently pursuing his PhD in Immunology and Infectious Diseases in the College of Veterinary Medicine. In a nomination, he is described as an outstanding doctoral candidate with a personal drive and a passion for research. Telmo is the founder of both the Immunology and Infectious Diseases Organization and of the European Scholars and Student Association here at WSU. Cherise DeBerry is our next recipient of the 2015 President's Award for Leadership. Cherise is a graduate student in the College of Education pursuing a PhD in Cultural Studies and Social Thought. In a nomination, it is explained that under Cherise's leadership, the College Success Scholars Community Builder Mentors have spent hundreds of hours this year developing interactive learning modules, workshops, and events that focus on the values of social justice, personal empowerment, and citizenship. Cherise works very closely with the College Success Scholars Program and employs the motto, "Lift as I climb," as she supports others in the program. Our next awardee is Erica Christensen. Unfortunately, Erica was not able to be with us this evening, but thank you so much for her service. Erica is a current graduate student at WSU studying political science under the School of Politics, Philosophy, and Public Affairs. Erica has served as both the Vice President and President of the WSU Graduate and Professional Students Association, and as one nominator explained, that Erica's efforts in this organization served as a catalyst in the reorganization and increased involvement among graduate and professional students in GPSA. Next, help me in welcoming Christopher Campbell. Christopher will be graduating this May with his PhD in Criminal Justice and Criminology. One letter of support said that his influence to those around him is important, effective, and will likely impact those he has mentored for years to come. His contributions to WSU exceed the expectations of any student. Christopher has not only been an academic advisor for Sigma Phi Epsilon, but has also served as president in the Criminal Justice and Criminology Graduate Student Association, and as a senator in GPSA. Elizabeth Bernhardt is our next recipient. Elizabeth is a PhD student pursuing a degree in physics. A nominator explains that the enthusiasm Elizabeth brings to regional and local learning opportunities makes her an invaluable member of the WSU graduate student community. Elizabeth is heavily involved with the WSU student chapter of the Optical Society of America, an extracurricular physics group, and has served as secretary, vice president, and president of the group. Our next recipient is Abedel Hadi Bashir. Abed Hadi is pursuing a PhD in Cultural Studies and Social Thought in the College of Education. In a letter of support, Abed Hadi is described as always willing to lend a hand to those who ask and is humble enough to collaborate with multiple groups in and outside the WSU community. Among his activities, Abed Hadi co-founded the Culture Power Crew in 2014, which is a radio show on KZUU. He assists the show's members in developing content that educates the local community about issues of race, equality, education, and power. Our final graduate recipient of the 2015 President's Award for Leadership is Cornelius Adewale. Cornelius is a PhD student in the School of the Environment's Environmental and Natural Resources program. In addition to being praised for his exemplary performance as a scholar, a nominator described Cornelius as radiating passion for the community that is contagious. Cornelius himself states that service to humanity in any capacity we find ourselves gives such joy and happiness that it is indescribable. Cornelius has served as both secretary and president of the Nigerian Student Organization, as well as served on the Center for Civic Engagement's Advisory Council while attending WSU. Congratulations again to all the 2015 President's Award for Leadership graduate student recipients.
Thank you, Erin. And now to present the undergraduate student award winners, please welcome Philip Sinapati, the multicultural coordinator with student involvement, and Cassie Rowland, the student engagement coordinator with the Center for Civic Engagement.
Hello. Our first recipient this evening is Lauren Rachel Young. She goes by Rachel, which is why I said Rachel. Anyway, she is currently a senior and is graduating this May with a degree in history, the pre-law option. In a letter of support, one said, "She is academically brilliant, creative, hardworking, independently motivated, a gifted speaker, and meets the world with both passion and perspective. Rachel is currently an intern in the College of Arts and Sciences and has been volunteering with Autism Service Dogs of America for 7 years."
Our next recipient is Connor Wolcott. Connor is currently a junior studying kinesiology and pre-med here. One said in a letter of support that Connor has distinguished himself, especially in his thoughtful and eager engagement with ideas, his positive and respectful manner, and his maturity. Among a handful of impressive leadership experience, Connor is currently a student advisor for the Social Justice Committee of Residence Life and a student advisor for the Stevenson South Hall government.
Please help me welcome Taylor D. Winslow for receiving this award. Taylor will be graduating this May with a degree in communication. In a letter of support, it was said, "Taylor's drive, determination, and uncompromising spirit are what makes her unique and a great student leader at Washington State University." Taylor held several positions in Cable 8 Productions, including Human Resources Director and Vice President of Public Relations and Alumni Affairs.
Please help me welcome our next recipient is Logan Webenhurst. Logan is currently a senior studying political science pre-law. In a letter of support, one said, "As our leader, he emphasizes consistency and support. He puts his whole heart into that work that he does and his main drive is led by his passion for our organization and the WSU community. Logan is currently the director of Student Entertainment Board and will be returning as a director for a second year.
Our next awardee is Katie Walsh. Katie is graduating this May with a degree in Management Operations and Management Information Systems. In a nomination letter, one said, her active participation in ASWSU Global also displays her commitment to collaborating with others, improving herself and the organization she's involved in, and working toward positive social change with her peers. Katie is involved with ASWSU student government and holds the positions of senator and secretary.
Please help me welcome Jansen Vandermeulen to the stage. Jansen is currently a senior studying Spanish language and culture and philosophy here at WSU. In the letter of support, one said that he has succeeded both inside and outside of the classroom, which is not only a true testament to his leadership abilities, but it is the essence of what the college experience is about. Jansen was elected the vice president of ASWSU this January and oversees the diversity efforts, philanthropy, community outreach, communication, and legislative affairs department.
Our next recipient is Kenna Uddenberg. Kenna is currently a senior here and is graduating in May with a degree in psychology. In a letter of support, one said, Kenna works tirelessly to ensure that the success of her peers and community as a whole. I missed a word there, I apologize. She is the type of person that will pour her heart into a task that will benefit others without being self-serving. Among numerous accomplishments, Kenna is the Director of Philanthropy of ASWSU.
Please welcome our next recipient, Corey Uddenberg. Corey is a junior studying public relations and Spanish and minoring in global studies. In a nomination, one said that she pays particular attention to ensuring the posts develop are culturally sensitive and inclusive, which shows her dedication to improving herself and making others feel welcome and comfortable. This is the mark of a leader. She is currently the Vice President of Public Relations on the Pan-Atlantic Council and has been there since November 2014.
Please welcome Kayla Titialii to the stage. Kayla is a senior and will be graduating in December with a degree in zoology. In a recommendation letter, one said, Kayla has embodied the spirit of a true leader and advocate by pursuing excellence in academics, fostering an inclusive and equitable community through continued service to the university as a student leader, while striving to change the culture and maintaining high ethical standards and unwavering integrity. Kayla currently holds the position of president in the lovely sisterhood of Chi Delta Sigma sorority.
Our next recipient is Sarah Elizabeth Temple. Sarah is a senior studying psychology and pre-nursing and will be graduating in December. In a nomination letter, one said that Sarah is a quiet leader and is never boastful. She does, however, challenge those around her to think deeper, question more critically, and imagine possibilities that lie outside of the box. She's been a board member for both the Student Conduct of Hearing and the Student Conduct Appeals for the Office of Student Standards and Accountability since February 2012.
Our next recipient is Vanessa L. Singh. Vanessa will be graduating this summer with a degree in humanities, emphasizing in communication and business.
In a letter of support, one said, "Ms. Singh's impact on this campus will carry on after she graduates in May because she has influenced her peers and engaged in meaningful campus change." Among numerous positions, Vanessa has served as the chair of the Asian Pacific American Student Coalition and the co-chair of the Shaping Conference.
Our next recipient is Brianna Shores. Unfortunately, she's not here tonight, but Brianna is a senior graduating this semester with a degree in personnel psychology and human resource management. Someone said that Brianna's leadership isn't only meaningful to those she directly impacts, but is so powerful that it trickles down to affect all students of WSU Vancouver. She's currently the chair of External Affairs Committee on the Senate and collaborates with others in events such as Health Week, 30 Days of Cougs, and the Hunger Games.
Our next recipient is Sean Rogers. He's here. Sean is graduating in May with a degree in athletic training. One said in a letter of support, "Sean displays desirable attributes in the workplace, including motivation, drive, and ability to think independently in regards to student-athlete welfare." Among other positions, Sean served as an athletic training clinical intern for Washington State football this school year.
Our next recipient is Srinath Panjagnula. Srinath is a junior here at WSU studying psychology. In a nomination letter, one said that he goes out of his way to make sure that all the organizations he volunteers for or is an officer for gets the best leadership possible and actually makes a difference in people's lives both at WSU and elsewhere. He currently holds 8 titles for a number of organizations, one of those titles being the co-programming chair of ASWSU's International Student Council.
Our next recipient is Herman Meyer. Herman will be graduating this spring with a degree in communication. One said in a nomination letter that Herman's tenacity, sense of responsibility, and willingness to help others learn are all signs of a great leader. Herman is currently the president and general manager for Cable 8 Productions and has been since April 2013.
Please help me welcome Joseph William Martin to the stage. Joseph is graduating this May with a degree in psychology. One said in a letter of support that Joseph showed his servant's hearts in his efforts to befriend students beyond the scope of his job to impact them deeply while they were at Washington State University. Among a variety of activities, he's been an assistant hall director for WSU Residence Life since July of 2013.
Please help me in welcoming Antonio Martinez. Antonio is a junior here at WSU pursuing a degree in psychology. When nominated, one said, "During his term as United Greek Council president, he has reinvigorated the multicultural Greek community and empowered leaders up and down the membership rosters to illuminate the WSU community on the values of the community, which are diversity, service, equity, and leadership." Antonio had opportunity to attend the Greek Leadership Academy and attended workshops, communicated with other members, and even spoke on behalf of other multicultural organizations as their president.
Our next recipient is Anastasia Mackert. Anna is currently a senior studying basic medical sciences while minoring in neuroscience and Japanese. It was mentioned in a letter of support that she is a natural leader with international sensitivity. There is no doubt in my mind that she has empowered and enriched many students here at WSU. One of her notable accomplishments is being the founder and president of the WSU Climbing Club. Under her leadership, the club now is able to compete in the NC3, which stands for the Northwest Collegiate Climbing Circuit.
Please help me in welcoming Zach Lipana. Ugh, sorry, Zach. Zach is the interim ASWSU president, the Everett Engineering Club co-founder and president, and the 2014-15 ASWSU Global Senator, where he was also a member of the Constitution and Bylaws Revision Task Force to help future ASWSU global students. In a letter of support, one said, "While his multitasking skills are admirable, his ability to lead students, build the organization from ground up, and engage with his peers have been superb." Congratulations, Zach.
Our next recipient is Ashley Kopetsky. Ashley is graduating this May with a degree in architecture. In a letter of support, Gregory Kessler wrote, "Ashley is an intrinsic leader and has devoted herself completely to the WSU community as well as her discipline at both the local level as well as nationally. This year, she'll be sworn in at Washington, D.C. to hold a national position with the American Institute of Architecture Students, which was a student organization Ashley joined here at the local level at WSU. Congratulations, Ashley.
Please help me in congratulating our next recipient, Garrett Colt. Garrett is currently a freshman here at WSU studying communication and political science. One said in a nomination letter that if you talk with Garrett about his commitment to leadership and engagement, you will learn that his drive to lead comes from compassion and from wanting to see others thrive and succeed. Garrett's achievements include being on the Honors Hall government, the WSU Men's Club tennis team, and is elected as an uncertified senator for the 2015-2016 school year.
Please help me welcome our next recipient, Ms. Leoma James. Leoma is a sophomore studying political science and communication broadcasting. In a nomination, one said, "Leoma is a tireless, devoted, and committed leader within the WSU community. Her work within the community here has been vital to the sustaining of many organizations. Among a wide array of positions, she currently is a resident advisor for Gannon Goldsworthy, a multicultural mentor for the African Friendship Association, and has been involved with God's Harmony Gospel Choir since 2013.
I just lost where we were, sorry. Our next awardee is Courtney A. Himes. Courtney is graduating this spring with a degree in personal psychology and human resource management. One said in a letter of support, "Courtney has represented WSU Vancouver well as a student leader and inspired other students in and outside of her demographic to achieve and be involved in greater potentials." Courtney is currently a student ambassador at WSU Vancouver and is the president of the Human Resource Society at WSU Vancouver.
Our next recipient is Callie Hare. Callie is a senior graduating this May with a degree in journalism and media productions. In a letter of support, Candace Baltz wrote that she has demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of ethics and works to benefit the world around her by shining light in the corners, even when pressured by those with more power and influence. While a student here at WSU, Callie has been heavily involved with the Daily Evergreen since 2012 and also held the position as editor-in-chief.
Next, we congratulate Kyle W. Geiger. Kyle is currently a senior studying neuroscience. In a nomination letter, one said, "Kyle is easygoing, passionate, and a natural leader. His drive to help students is supplemented by his talent for innovation, leading him to create new ideas and projects to help the student body. One of Kyle's achievements includes being elected ASWSU's Vice President for the 2015-16 school year.
Our next recipient is Rachel Christensen. Rachel is a junior here studying in human development with an emphasis in family and consumer sciences. In a nomination letter, they wrote, "I believe that Rachel demonstrates the attributes of a true leader due to her dedication to others, her strong belief in civic engagement and service learning, her skills in collaboration and organization, and her ability to see how positive actions can affect social change in our communities." Among numerous positions, Rachel currently serves as program assistant for the Center for Civic Engagement.
Our next recipient receiving this award is Nathan Sherzan. Nathan is a junior and is double majoring in microbiology and animal science with a veterinary focus. Nomination 1 said, Nathan revolutionized the student involvement in the community program through the College Hill Association called Adopt a Block. Wow. Nathan has been involved with ASWSU since 2013 and currently is the Director of Student Life on the ASWSU executive staff. Congratulations, Nathan.
Our next recipient is Mr. Michael T. Burley, Jr. Michael will be graduating this May with a degree in psychology. It was said in a letter of support that Michael is one of those special individuals who is far beyond his years in knowledge, and he reflects a sense of humble confidence that positively impacts any environment he is in. He has been serving the Center for Civic Engagement as a literacy mentor and a project leader since 2013.
Our next recipient is Rodrigo Bonilla. Rodrigo is graduating this May with degrees in agriculture, food systems, economics, and Spanish. In a letter of support, one said that Rodrigo's most powerful strength as a leader is that he leads by doing. He never talks about being a leader, yet he is one of the most impactful leaders that I have encountered. Rodrigo was an ambassador for the College of Agriculture and Human Natural Resource Sciences for 3 years.
Last but not least, we congratulate Rebecca Benz. Rebecca is a junior studying earth science and minoring in Spanish. One said in a letter of support that Rebecca is mature, respectful, and shows incredible initiative. Integrity and professionalism have always been top-notch and consistent as well. She is currently the Vice President of Secretary and Finance for WSU Student Alumni Ambassadors. She has been elected as a WSU Student Alumni Ambassadors President for the upcoming school year. Congratulations, Rebecca. Let's give another round of applause for the undergraduate award recipients.
Thank you, Cassie and Philip. For our final presentation this evening, we are honored to be a part of the presentation for the Virginia E. Thomas Endowed Scholarship for Leadership, Coaching and Mentoring. To help us in making this presentation, we would like to invite an individual who has been instrumental both in continuing the messages first started by Virginia, and also in creating this award in Virginia's memory, Kelly Bratner of the WSU Alumni Association.
So first I have to say, it is always so amazing to be a part of this award ceremony and to see everyone and everything that you've done that's so great, but then I get to be so lucky to see when you come back as alumni. So thank you for what you've done so far, but we know you'll continue to do great things. But to talk about the scholarship, I think probably the way to describe Virginia best is to use some of her own words. So as she was reflecting back on her life, she had the following to say. So what have I learned? That it absolutely matters how you live your life, that no action is trivial. We can demonstrate our love and care in the smallest of acts, and the accumulation of those small acts results in a lifetime of respect, admiration, dedication, and love. That we never have enough time to spend with the ones we love most. That we indeed hand down many things to future generations, and it is up to us to make sure that people know our story. Our greatest gift to those we love is meaning and context and understanding. Those who come after us will want to know who we are, why we lived the way we did, and what our passions were. Virginia was a true servant leader to students, to the entire campus community, bringing passion, courage, and perspective to her work in student development. It is that legacy that we honor with this award. The Virginia E. Thomas Endowed Scholarship honors a legacy of excellence, integrity, character, discovery, and service. As director of the Leadership Center at Washington State University from 1995 to 2001, and founding director of what is now Student Involvement and Leadership Development through 2003, Virginia served the university and its students in a variety of roles, through which she displayed a breadth of leadership knowledge, skills, and qualities. As advisor to the Associated Students Officers and numerous other organizations, Virginia inspired excellence, modeled integrity, and encouraged discovery and innovation. The Virginia E. Thomas Endowed Scholarship is presented to an undergraduate student who has excelled in efforts to impact student life at Washington State University, but more importantly, has also excelled in leading and coaching others to become better leaders. This award is presented annually to a continuing undergraduate student who will be with us for the following academic year, allowing them to take advantage of the $1,000 scholarship established for the award, as well as participate in many of the leadership activities Virginia helped to create that continue to be offered. Established by Virginia's colleagues, friends, and students, this scholarship will be awarded concurrently with the President's Award, a program that she developed. I am happy to announce that the recipient of this year's Virginia E. Thomas Endowed Scholarship Award is Kyle Geiger.
Thank you, Kelly. And congratulations, Kyle. And thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you all so much for being here this evening and helping us honor these outstanding students and individuals and groups this evening. The gallery was impressive, and it is heartening to see all the good work people are doing in our community and the large community. To all the honorees, organizations, and advisors, your engagement and service within the WSU community speaks loudly about who you are and about the friends you now keep in this elite group. Leadership is not about a position. Instead, it is about your actions. If you could, before leaving us this evening, please help yourself to some more refreshments. Also, please, if you haven't had a chance to look at the gallery, please do so. We are going to be, I believe, cutting some cake here in just a moment, so please stick around for that. If you still have your name tag, if you could please give that to us. We have baskets out by the door if you could give those back to us before you leave. Thank you again so much for coming, and once again, go Cougs!